Paris 19.3.
Level of performance. As an elite level coach, I have had experience going through all levels of performance for a football player. Foundation. During foundation level football, I started playing football at my school. The purpose for me was playing football at school was so that I was able to have a bit of fun with some friends while being introduced to casual exercise. The first football session I took part in was during one of my PE sessions. This was because it was a good sport to start from, as it teaches you all the basic skills of throwing, catching and hand-eye coordination. The purpose of foundation football was to introduce me to sport and exercise in general. Another purpose is to ensure that everyone has fun while participating. This is reinforced by the analysts that are given. They only state what it is. They only state what is, what you are doing well, and what you should look to improve on. The resources needed for the foundation level are the people that are needed to take part in the sports being taught, along with a qualified PE teacher, the equipment to perform a session, so things like balls, bibs, cones would be needed. The last thing that would be needed is facilities. During my time in participation level, I joined my local team and I was able to work up, gaining starting position in the team. I started playing for my local team just because I enjoyed sports at first. However, when I started to get into football more, I started to like the feeling that playing football gave me. Because both my health and fitness were improving a lot. The participation level was also when I started to play football regularly. In a Sunday league, the coach would look to analyse the skills that I had developed during foundation level football. The purpose of participation level football is to get people more involved with sport outside of school. This will mean making it a fun thing to do, as well as getting more people involved with sports outside of school and convincing them to stay involved with sports for a longer time. This would keep them healthy, fit and keep them active. The resources needed for participation football are, first off, the most important part, the casual athletes that want to take part in the sport and show some enthusiasm to sports. Qualified coach. Other resources include equipment, balls, bibs, cones. Also, you need to have like a stopwatch whistle for the coach who's taken part. Facility is the most important thing as well. If you have nowhere to do it, then you can't take part. Performance. While I was in performance level, I was competing in county level football. As I had performed to a good standard for a long period of time, the adult first team of my local club recognised my talents and recruited me. During my time playing for them in the county league, I constantly given feedback from the coach and from other players. Because of this, I was able to improve my performance and improve my confidence due to a higher level of coaching. They also set me up for better opportunities to go on further in life. The purpose of performance level potential talent, future years, identify strengths and areas for improvement for individuals and the team, performance analysis and squad selection. By identifying future talent, teams are able to push certain players harder so that they are able to get to a higher level. This is done by analysing the performance of an individual athlete, telling them their strengths and weaknesses and how they can improve on it. Teams in performance level need more resources than the previous two levels. This is because they need human resources, as in they need players that are willing to play competitively at a high standard and have a high qualified coach and manager that will help them improve the performance of each of their players. Elite. Once I had reached the elite level, I noticed how much more demanding it was when compared to the performance level. Training and matches were a lot more physical and mentally demanding, and I would get a lot more feedback from my coaches, as there is not a lot more detail in the performance analysis, as they look to maximise the potential of all their athletes as they aim to achieve the perfect model. The purpose of elite level is to monitor the fitness levels of an athlete so that they are able to ensure the athletes aren't being overworked. It has to identify the strengths and areas for improvement for every single athlete within the level of elite, so that they are able to get them to the perfect model. It has to observe each athlete and produce an analysis for each of their performances. Resources. Teams in elite level need human resources so that they have athletes that can perform to extremely high standards, and also so they have dedicated managers and coaches that are qualified to use the equipment that is needed for training and the maintenance of the athlete's health and fitness levels. By having scientific support and equipment, coaches are able to get a more in-depth look at the performance of their athletes, meaning they are able to give more detailed analysis